Hello Big Brother fans, and this is review of episode 9 of season 13 of Big Brother. Oh boy. This one was all just the exposing of all the lies and the side alliances and Danielle's masterful puppetry coming to an end. She did well until she started pushing. The minute she started pushing and people started noticing the inordinate amount of time that she was spending with Dominic, and adding that plus the pushing of, you know, why don't you backdoor Jeff and Jordan? Why don't you backdoor Jeff and Jordan? This is your time. You know, this is for you to pull out the big play. And she really pushed it too hard, and she should have continued to be a little bit more subtle. She should have just introduced it and let them stew, and then, you know, backed up just a little bit before the nominations, and then, you know, come back in and say what's the game plan, and then just kind of subtly mention it again. And I think that they wouldn't have been as suspecting. But, you know, like I said, you know, they the editing, you really can't tell what's really going on, you know, who's seeing what, and all that fun stuff. What else? Let's see. I was laughing out loud at both Adam and Dominic, thinking that they were the pawns. That was actually quite pretty interesting, because, you know, they both made deals with Brenchel, and neither of them were suspecting, to the point that Dominic fell for, it's pretty much almost not quite what Marcellus, remember what Marcellus did when he didn't use the POV and gave it to someone else, and then bam, he was gone. Kind of almost, this will probably be the second stupidest thing ever done by in Big Brother history, by him throwing the competition thinking that he was safe. You can never ever count on anyone else in this game. Have they not watched the first 12 seasons? Have they not watched at all and realized that you can't really take a person for their word, even though you've gotten their guarantee and all this fun stuff? You are the only person that you can count on in that house. Okay, people, if you're ever thinking of going and being in the Big Brother household, listen to this piece of advice. Never trust anyone but yourself. Dominic is going to go home. He's going to be talking to Julie, and he's going to be regretting his ridiculosity of trusting and taking people for their word. Anyway, the words that they chose were kind of funny. I mean, of course, you know, you're quite limited to what you can spell, because everyone else is running for, you know, the different letters as well. But I did have to kind of giggle a tiny bit about the moisturizing faux pas. That one will probably go down in history too. Okay, let's see. Shelly immediately running to Jeff and Jordan the second she finishes talking. Well, okay, she didn't immediately. It was the next day. But directly going and talking about, you know, how Dominic was trying to get her to their side, and he's in an alliance with Danielle, and he wants to take her and Danielle and get rid of Jeff and Jordan and stay with Brendan and Rachel, and, you know, make this big masterful team of getting rid of everybody else. And you know, there are two things. I saw two sides to this. If she had just kept quiet and played it out, she could have had a little side alliance, which isn't a bad thing. You know what I mean? If the people that you're banking on, absolutely banking on, I mean, she's banking on Jeff and Jordan, and yes, they are a sweet couple, but they are in a big alliance with Brendan and Rachel, as well as Danielle, or so they thought. And Rachel is totally reeling in Portia. I mean, we don't get to see a whole lot of that, but if you pay attention, you'll see that a lot of the time Rachel is in the HOH room and Portia is by her side. So you know, keep your eye on that. Those two are getting really, really, really close, and so my guess is that at some point that is going to be a major play. As I'm talking, I'm adding another name to the votes. The one of the good parts though of her immediately running and telling Jeff, or Jordan rather, was the fact that they then immediately ran upstairs and told Rachel and Brendan, and through the entire conversations, everything came down to they realized that Danielle was absolutely no good, and that was the, you know, that was the whole way everything came out. So you know, if Shelley was smart, she'd continue to just play that Dominic thing, you know, for a little while. If he does survive this vote and kind of, you know, play along with it. I don't see him surviving, however, I really don't. And we'll get to the votes in just a second. Or we could deal with it right now. My guess is, because they haven't yet done one, I have a really weird feeling that tomorrow's HOH is going to be an endurance competition. Just because I think what happens when it comes to endurance is it kind of levels the playing field in terms of you're not having to rely on muscle or brawn, you know. You don't have to rely on your smarts. You basically just have to stand somewhere or hold on to something, or, you know, balance on something. That's pretty much all it is, you know. And so it's that equalizing factor that they overly use in Survivor. Almost all of the time women end up with endurance, winning endurances. So I mean, you know, I'm not saying that to be gender biased. It's pretty much a fact. If you go back and you look, you know, to past competitions, women more or less probably 80 to 90% of the time will end up winning those endurance competitions. So we have, let's see, the America's, okay, no, we're going to go back to the votes. I'm sorry. Let's see. We have Danielle, Jeff, Jordan, Brendan, Portia, Shelley, LaJuan, and Kalia voting. I have no clue what Kalia and LaJuan are thinking at this point. They get absolutely no airtime whatsoever. No chit chat between the two. No talking to any of the other couples or alliances and their ideas and thoughts. I have read the forum, and Kalia seems to be with kind of siding with the vets, but you know, these people, they're wild cards only because, like I said, no airtime. So when it comes down to their votes, no clue who they're going to vote for. So those two votes are up in the air. The only one I know that will definitely vote to keep to kick off Adam is Danielle, unless she's really super afraid of being outed. But you know, I don't think she really cares at this point. Jeff, Jordan, Brendan, Portia, and Shelley, those 5 are for Dominic. And then we have the 1 and possibly the 2 for Adam. No telling, you know, what those 2 are going to do. That still doesn't matter. It looks like Dominic is going to be talking to Julie, and it looks like Adam is going to get golden key number 4. As for America's vote for the have and have nots, I don't ever vote, but I always like to know what people are thinking at this point. The choices are black licorice and blue cheese, parsnips and prunes, or seaweed and sardines. What are you guys voting for? My guess is people are already getting sick of people. Yes, they are. So it's probably going to be seaweed and sardines. That's just my guess. Alright, you guys, we'll see you tomorrow. And if they're doing endurance, we won't have an HOH, that we'll know of until Sunday. I will, however, be doing my spoilers, so if you guys are interested in finding out who won that endurance competition, just stay tuned. All right, we'll see you then. Bye.